Okay, so I am so excited because it has been my goal to teach in the big room for a really long time. So I feel like I am alive. And I feel like it would be better if I just took my jacket off. Boiler up! Who wants to see the Boilers win? Oh, that was not loud enough. Who wants to see the Boilers win? If you don't agree, just don't tell me. Okay. So first of all, my name is Chatney, and I am super excited that I get to teach you guys today. Diana Sumter, I don't know if she is in the room, but the visuals of watching the first girl who made a wise business decision and stacking up the products so big that she can't hold them all, that was awesome, because I totally believe that since we have launched that new program at the beginning of our year, there has never been a better time to be a new consultant in Mary Kay. And you know, if you've been in Mary Kay a while, 21 years ago when I got started in Mary Kay, you got what you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. You want to start with a full store? We're going to send you ivory, beige, and bronze, and you're going to find some bronze customers. Okay? I don't care if most of your market is this, or this. You are going to diversify, And it just was the way it was. And honestly, there was some good to that. And it did allow you to think a different thought and get out of your comfort zone. But it is amazing that new consultants get the amount of free product that they get, and that they are going to reward people for adding people to their team. The other day, I had a newer consultant that added a team member that got qualified, and she had placed an order, and her order, along with the qualified bonus, her retail credit was $1,100. Her wholesale order was $200 and some. And I was like, what just happened? But what happened is she got to pick 2 bonuses, and then she got this, and then she got this, and she got the new toning lotion, and it was amazing. So I think that is awesome, and our company deserves a huge round of applause for that. And Stacy teaching us to close this sale. Stacy, what I got from your class is close the sale, because if you didn't, then it seems like you don't believe in what you just showed them. That was awesome. And it works the exact same with building your team. So the same applies to closing the interview. And sometimes we think that we interviewed someone, or we offered someone the opportunity when we say, hey, have you ever thought of doing Mary Kay? And she says, no, I haven't. And we say, okay. That is not an interview. It is not. Nobody's life will change because you kind of just put it out there. If you want someone's life to change, you got to get a little bit more questions asked during the interview process. And so I love that. And it does take, when we have an interview contest, I always say the only way this counts is every question on this form needs filled out. You cannot chicken out when you get to the last question that says, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Because if you're not asking her for an answer, why are you at the coffee shop? If you're not going to offer her an opportunity to change her life, not your life, her life, then why did you even take time to go meet with her? So I think we need to get real about what it looks like to do an interview. Because here's the thing. Today's class is on building your team. And there is nothing that I would be more excited to teach. It is what I'm good at in Mary Kay. I've got over 50 gold medals. That's 5 recruits in a month. I've done the Queen's Quarter sharing 14 times. It is totally what I believe in. And it's a mind shift. So I was talking to Katie, who's in my unit in the back row. And can I just say, if you are in my unit and you were in this class, can you stand so we can give you a round of applause? They're the back row peeps. So as I was talking to Katie, we were talking about how confident she is in offering the product, but how unconfident it feels sometimes to offer people the opportunity. And that is the only thing that needs to change, is how you view offering people the opportunity. Because it's the same. It's even easier if you really change the 6 inches in between your brain to be the way I think about recruiting. So that's what I came to teach you today. I didn't come to teach you a better interview, okay? Because when you have this straight, then you don't need a better interview guide. You don't need, the company has given you everything for people to want to say yes. Okay, we have a great product. We have great new consultant systems. We have great new bonuses. So you don't need anything else besides the shift in your thinking about recruiting. So Diana said, replace your focus from I to why. Be a blessing. And I would say amen. And the same comes with the opportunity. So Linda Tupin is famous for saying a saying, I am where I am by the choices I have made, or I have allowed others to make for me. Here's a different thought. Here's a different twist. Now, I've grown up 21 years in the Tupin National area, and that is very true. I am where I am by the choices I have made, or I have allowed other people to make for me. Here's the shift I would like you to make today. She is where she is. Repeat after me. She is where she is. She is where she is. By the choices I have made. By the choices I have made. And I have not allowed her to make for herself. She is where she is. By the choices I have made. And I have not allowed her to make for herself. How's that sit? But isn't that true? Aren't your customers, they are where they are? When I was a hairdresser, there were times where at the end of the evening, I would lock the door and I would sit with my feet propped up on the shampoo bowl cup and I would lay back in my chair, just mentally tapped out because of all the people who had come and shared their life with me. Okay? I still have that in Mary Kay, right? People open up. Whether you're sitting at her kitchen table or you're sitting at your kitchen table, people open up and they share so much. They're so transparent sometimes, even if you don't even hardly know them. Why? Because no one's listening to them. And when you listen, how does it feel to just walk away from that and not ever give her an opportunity to make a change for herself? How does it feel to just sell her $100 and then take all of it with you? Take all that she could have and just bundle it all up in your starter kit and walk out the door with it. That's the shift I want you to make. She is where she is because you have currently decided for her that it would be more important to keep her as a customer than to keep her as a consultant. And if you say, no, that's not what I say, I'm going to challenge you on that. Okay? I have no matter the reason, whether it's you're scared or whether it's, she won't listen to the information, you know what? When you have this mindset that, dude, this would change your flipping life. When that is your mindset, she can't tell you no. She's only listening to info on the opportunity. And I would bet that no one in your life has such a sparkly, freaking awesome life that they're not willing to sit and listen to 5 minutes of something different. Okay? I know some amazing people, and nobody's life is so put together that if you could offer them something for 5 or 10 minutes, that you could at least say, I think you owe it to yourself to listen to some info. And I would sleep better at night if you could at least hear me out, and if you hear me out and it wouldn't be for you, dude, I will let you buy Mary Kay full price off me for as long as you want. And her answer then is yes, right? I made it okay to say no, but I say I would be able to sleep it better at night if you could at least say yes to hearing the information, because God put you on my heart, and I just feel like you owe it to yourself to hear the facts, and if you hear the facts and it wouldn't be for you, no big deal. But I will let you buy Mary Kay full price off me for as long as you want. And then it just makes it okay to hear the info. Makes it okay because, and I say at the beginning of every class, hey, I am going to tell you a little bit about the opportunity, but just know, if everybody did what I did, I wouldn't have anybody to sell to. Okay? So Mary Kay always said there's a consultant at every class, but know that our company is designed so there is both a customer and there is a consultant. And so I want you to know I value you as a customer. And if you didn't ever want to be a Mary Kay consultant, that's okay. But my job is to offer it to the people who might not even come here today knowing they need it. Okay? Those are kind of some of the words I'd like you to start thinking about and saying. So raise your hand if you have no problem offering people our products. Right? Okay, so a big bunch of hands just went up. No problem offering people the products. But raise your hand if you sometimes shake in your boots offering people the opportunity. Okay, more hands went up, okay? So that is a mindset, and a shift is required, because gals, our products, they change faces. They don't change futures. Our products change faces. They don't change futures. So quit putting so much pressure on the product. Apply pressure where pressure could actually save a life. If you come upon someone today and they have an open wound, let's say we walk out and there is a gunshot wound, okay? And someone, when we walk out of here, it is like a heavy day in Louisville, okay? Let's say that we have some basketball rage today and you walk out here and there is someone with a gunshot wound. What do? What is the first thing you do when someone is bleeding out? You apply pressure. Okay? So you have to apply the pressure in this business where it would save someone's life. And that is not on the product. It is on the opportunity. So that pressure is the opportunity, and it can save a person's life, and it can change their life forever. So I was the pimply-faced 19-year-old on Accutane. I almost didn't say yes to the opportunity. One, I'm totally the exception to the rule. And maybe this is why it was easy for me to offer the opportunity. I actually didn't use our products at all prior to saying yes to Mary Kay. I almost didn't say yes to the product or to the opportunity, because who wants to buy Mary Kay off a pimply-faced 19-year-old? Okay? And so I actually had a Diamond Star order coming to my home along with a starter kit. I pulled the money out of my own savings account because I've always been a hard worker. I wrote a check to Linda Tupin as a 19-year-old for a Diamond Star inventory, and the product arrived at the door. The last thing my dad said before I headed to the Mary Kay meeting was, whatever you do, don't sign up for anything and don't hand anybody any money. And I came home with a Mary Kay pin on, and I said, it was my $100, you can't be mad at me. And then a few days later, 11 boxes arrived in the rain, and he is the one that brought them in. And I can't tell you what he said, it's not good on a recording, but I can tell you that same man sat at seminar teary-eyed the first year that we won the Circle of Excellence trip. And he is a believer in Mary Kay. And him and my mom have taught me a great, great work ethic. I always saw them work hard. I always saw them not quit until the job was done. They both have owned successful businesses, and it's the only time, let me just clarify, it's the only time I didn't take my dad's advice that it turned out well. But I just think, oh my goodness, what if I had listened? What if I had listened? Mary Kay products changed my face, not my forever. The opportunity changed my forever. And that's what I said yes to first. I said yes to an opportunity, and what caused me to say yes to Mary Kay is the what if question. I remember asking myself, Linda Tupin walked me through everything, and I remember asking myself, what if I don't say yes and I could have been great? So it was worth risking 10% of $3,000. Surely I was good enough that in 12 months I can make $300, okay? It was worth risking a little bit of money. It was worth risking a starter kit. It was a big Barbie kit. That's a great deal anyway. It was worth risking that because what if I could sign up, and what if it would change my forever? And it did. It did. But the product didn't do that. The product did cure a pimply-faced 19-year-old in under 3 weeks. And I did feel confident, and I am passionate about teaching people to take care of their skin. I really could care less if I sell an eyeshadow. I love Chroma Fusion. It's great. It's a courtesy. It's a courtesy that we offer color. It is not what is going to change anybody's life. And it's not going to change anybody's face. Color is not going to change you forever. But taking a pimply-faced 19-year-old on Accutane and giving her brand new skin does make her really excited about the products that she's selling. So how many of you have been to seminar? Okay, awesome. And at seminar, how many of you have seen the pages and pages and pages of people who do the Queen's Court of Sales? It is awesome, right? It is awesome. It's hard to be an audience champion on page 4, okay? I mean, like, everyone's like, you need a Coke? I need a bathroom break. I mean, there are pages and pages of people who are amazing at selling our product. What I would love to see are pages and pages and pages of people who are amazing at selling an opportunity that would change people's forevers. And that is a page or less, okay? The Queen's Court of Sharing is a page or less. There have been some times where I wanted to watch the Queen of Sales get crowned, and I had to run to the back because the list of Queen's Court of Sharing is like this big some years. And that is unacceptable. It's unacceptable that we would all be in agreement that Mary Kay has changed our life. If you have been in Mary Kay a week, okay, you would be in agreement that this is awesome, this is great. I know people who would love this, who would want this. So why are there not 4 pages of Queen's Court of Sharing? It's 24 people in a year. It's changing 2 people's lives a month. Everybody can get to 600. They got 4 months to do it. Okay, everybody. If you love selling the product so much, if you're great at selling the product, great. Teach your new team member to sell $600 in a 4-month time period. She can take $600 of other people's money, and then she can get $600 free for herself. Okay, that's how you get to talk to her. Hey, we're going to sell $600. And we're going to collect $600 in other people's money. And after we do that, you're going to get to pick out $600 with whatever you want for free for yourself. Okay? That's how I talk about it. So everyone can sell $600 in their first 4 months of business. And then they get $333 in free product if they can do it in their first 15 days. And they get $158 if they can do it in their first 2 months. And they get $110 if they can do it in their first 4 months. So it's totally worth it for us to get there. And if she wants to start with a $225 her first month, okay. Because we're only $375 away from $600 and a $110 bonus, and we have 4 months to do it. So you can help her. Your gift in being good at selling, your fearlessness in believing in the product, great. Go apply that to helping a new team member get to 600. But it is, in my mind, so crazy that the list of people who are willing to change their life is this big in the seminar guide. And we've got to start a movement to change that, because our company would blow every direct sell company out of the water if you, sitting in your seat, made a decision today that you were going to do the Queen's Court of Sharing. Okay? If you can't think the thought of doing it this year, though I will tell you it's not too late because you can add 13 people a month. There have been years where I started in May, okay? And that's not my favorite. But there have been years where I had, just a few people going into May, and you can do that. So get on fire for how much Mary Kay could change people's lives. Mary Kay did say that nothing happens until someone does what? But we can sell the opportunity. So it's the same. It's just a shift in how you think. Yes, we're going to start with the product, because when people are attached to the product, I am totally the exception to the rule. When people are attached to the product, then people stay in our company. Their retention in Mary Kay is so great when it's almost 50% higher. That's the last stat I heard. Almost 50% better retention when that person is a Mary Kay user and a believer. Because why would she ever quit, right? No matter what happens in your life, why would you want to ever hand your consultant $205 for a repair set? Right? That's crazy, So you would at least stay in Mary Kay to get your products at cost if you loved what? The product. Okay, but if you don't love the product, if you have every brand in your bathroom at your business debut, it doesn't really set a good taste for all the people coming, okay? And I was the girl that wore Clinique to my very first skincare class because I am very thrifty, and I was going to burn all of the Clinique up first and the lawn comb, and then I was going to switch to Mary Kay. And my very first skincare class, a girl named Diane Hurlis, who is in my unit now, Diane Hurlis said, "What color is that?" And at that time, 21 years ago, we had these little tubes that you would squeeze the lipstick out, like toothpaste. It was really attractive. Okay, when we squeeze the toothpaste out, and you dump a little toothpaste. You dump a little lipstick, and they'd put it on with this brush that the bristles were like this long, and it was like you were always wiping off the excess, like let me just get that off your chin. Okay, so anyway, and I had just gotten my starter kit. My very first skincare class was a slumber party of my mom's friends. There was 12 women there. I still have the picture. I wore Harley Davidson boots, cut off blue jeans, and a gray t-shirt. Woo! Professional. Okay, and it was at a hotel. They all rented a hotel to have a slumber party. I did all of their faces. I did their color by holding all my samples that came in the starter kit in my hand and saying, what color do you want? What color do you want? What color do you want? And when we were done, I sold almost $300, but there was this lady named Diane, and she said, oh, I love your lipstick. What color is that? And I said, chocolate mousse, because it was the only color I remember even reading when I put it in the thing, and I thought, it kind of looked like this. Okay. I was wearing a raisin color by Clinique, which I can tell you, raisin probably means berry, chocolate mousse means chocolate, okay? So it didn't look a thing like what was on my lips. So she says, oh, I want to try it. So I give her chocolate mousse, and she puts it on, and we don't look anything alike. And so she said, are you sure this is chocolate mousse? I said, yeah. And so she goes, well, maybe I need more. So I go give her more chocolate mousse. And by this time, I'm like, you know, if this lady would just go away or be quiet or disappear. And so I'm like, oh. And so she comes over to me during the individual close that I did in a hotel room, like seat by seat by seat, bed by bed. So anyway, she comes over to me during the individual close and she goes, be honest with me. Are you lying to me? She goes, this don't look a thing like what's on your lips. And I said, you know, I learned in cosmetology school that sometimes different lipsticks just look different on different people. And so she said, I don't believe you. I mean, she was totally the heckler, right? But she called me out, and she just kept calling me out, and she kept getting louder. And I said, teary-eyed, I said, listen, this is Clinique. This is my first day, but if you just leave me alone and don't say anything out loud, I'll never do it again. And she said, deal. So anyway, so we laugh about it now, and I always tell people, you know what? That was before I knew Jesus, because he came in my starter kit. Okay. And so Diane was my state board model, and she has been in my life a really long time and has always been around. And we have had a great laugh at that story over the years. I tell it all the time, but I've never said it in a microphone, so now I get to give her a recording. But that was my start to Mary Kay. And our products do change people's faces, but they will not change their futures. So we don't just sell products, we sell progress. You know, Linda Tupin, years and years ago, after I became a sales director, my goal was to become a sales director because my husband asked me to marry him, and shortly after he asked me to marry him, he said, do you think you could earn a Mary Kay card? I mean, when I say shortly, I mean he asked me to marry him. We got in the car. I pulled my ring out of a jack-o'-lantern when we were carving it. We got in the car, and he said, as soon as he fastened his seatbelt, hey, so you think you could earn a Mary Kay card before we got married? And I said, I think I can. He said, that's awesome because you have high-risk insurance, and I don't want your high-risk insurance to be my high-risk insurance. And I have lots of fast driving awards, and I drove a little red sports car, and so I said, yeah, I think I could earn a Mary Kay car, and that was the first goal I ever remember setting. So when people say, how long did it take you to earn your first Mary Kay car? I always say 4 months from the day I decided to. Linda Tupin talks about choices, but there's a difference between choices and decisions. And a decision, in order to accomplish anything, has to be followed by a deadline. Okay, I was the number 4 person in the company to win the cruise. And that is because of my team. And we worked so hard together as a team, and we all were going as a team. And I wish that the girls who were really an enormous part of achieving that were all in the room, but they're all in a red class this year. And the awesome part is that I haven't had anyone in a red class at Career Conference for a long time. And our last red jacket debut had been 1 year prior. It's a long time to not sell anyone on directorship or moving up. So there are weaknesses in my business too, where I lack belief and where I'm scared and where I don't measure up in offering people things. But we just have to choose to look at it differently. And it's amazing that the company offering us a cruise can shift our focus into suddenly thinking that there's the Grand Canyon that exists between where we are and where we need to be. And suddenly we think, oh, I can do that. They closed the gap for me. Mary Kay are gap closers. We're not box checkers. And I recently sat on a diversity panel in our town, which was a really interesting opportunity that they asked me to be part of a diversity panel because it is going back to us talking about, how Mary Kay needs me as a national sales director. It needs Stacy. It needs you. Okay, so we all have different gifts. And I was asked to sit on this diversity panel because the college put it on, and Mary Kay had just recently come out in Forbes magazine as one of the top companies. They were in the top 50 companies for diversity rated in Forbes magazine. So they called the Mary Kay person they know and said, would you like to sit on this diversity panel? They sent me a list of questions beforehand. It was a really interesting growth experience. I'm not used to having to be politically correct about anything. I get to be really transparent and tell stories and make people laugh, and to sit on a panel where we all came from such different backgrounds. And I started by saying, you guys might think it's ironic that me, who works for a 98% dominated by women company, who gets to put God first, family second, career third, and ask people at seminar to hold hands with your neighbor and go to the Lord in prayer, would ask to be part of a diversity panel. And they all kind of laughed, and it broke the tension. But one of the things that kept coming up is the people that sat on that panel that said, our town is amazing at being diverse. We're not good at all at being inclusive. There's a difference. And I'm so glad that God gave me something to say there. But when they came to me and said, what do you think makes your company different? I said, you know what? Here's what I think is unique. Mary Kay is a privately owned family company. No one makes us hire a certain kind of person. No one makes us check a box. But Mary Kay teaches us to look for people's gifts. And when I say, oh, you've got something, I can see that in you, and I add what God gave me to what God gave you, then that is so powerful. And I understand that my gifts plus your gifts plus her gifts would equal amazing things. I said, so what makes Mary Kay unique is that the rest of you all represent a company that makes people check boxes. And I represent a company that fills in gaps. So look for people who have those gifts that are different than your gifts, because we can learn an awful lot from each other. And years ago, my only goal was earn a car, be a sales director. Earn a car, be a sales director. And I did that. And then after I did that, I didn't have another goal right away. And because of that, I made missed production every other month. And I wasn't used to not being powerful in an area. And I just hadn't figured out how to do Mary Kay yet. And so Linda Tupin had something called Special Forces. And at that Special Forces meeting, she had us make a list of 10 women in our life that scared us, that intimidated us, that were the most powerful, sharp, influential, amazing women that we knew. I was honestly too naive at the time to ask us what she was going to make us do with the list, so I really put the legit 10 best women I knew. And then she told us, if you would like to come back to my next meeting, you have to have interviewed all 10 of these women, or you cannot return. Okay, so I would have put a different list of 10 if I'd known what she was going to make me do with that list. But that list changed my life. And that list, I did interview all 10 women because I did want to change, and I did want to grow, and I did want to become a better version of myself. And I did think that I probably could figure it out, but I didn't know how. And if Linda Tupin told me I needed a different list of women, I was only offering Mary Kay to people I knew would say yes. And that's not going to change your life or her life, because those people aren't looking for a life change. And so I did offer Mary Kay. The first person that said yes was my boss with Redken. I worked at Redken at the time. And we had come off of a $500 December. Now, you don't need to be in Mary Kay very long to know that if you have an entire team of people, a $500 December is not a lot of production, okay? It's December, it's Christmas selling, and myself and the 21 people left in my unit had done 500 wholesale. And that probably wasn't my order because I wasn't doing jack squat. Okay, so I offered that to 10 women in the month of January. We went from a $500 December to a $10,000 January, a $10,000 February, a $10,000 March, a $5,000 April, a $15,000 May, and a $41,000 June, 6 months after that $500 month to finish our first Cadillac. So if you want to be in a different place, if you want to change your life, you have to offer Mary Kay to people whose lives would be changed and who are willing to show up to say yes to having their life be changed. And so I would encourage you, that is what I'm going to ask of you. And I am going to say up front, that's what I'm going to have you do with the list. And you're the only person that really knows if those are the best 10 you've got. So don't fool yourself. Really, ask the best 10 you've got, because as Stacy said, hey, going through that chicken list brought me 3 people that brought me zillions, I think she said, gazillions. Yeah, gazillion millions of production. And so it can change your life. I went from owing Mary Kay to having a $14,000 paycheck. So when you make a move, discouragement will happen. So here's what I'd like to close with. 2 thoughts. When you decide to show up in a really big way, you are going to be under attack. It's just how it works, okay? So I used to have this t-shirt that said, I'm the Christian Satan's worried about. And when he's not messing with me, it's because I'm not doing jack, okay? So if you have no obstacles and no discouragement, I would be really afraid, because you are not living your life. You're not using your gifts if nothing is coming against you. And you cannot live your life like that. And so I would encourage you to just understand that discouragement will come, and it's just part of it, and you just need to know where it comes from. So if you've never heard the story of Satan's yard sale, Satan has a yard sale. Anybody ever heard the story of Satan's yard sale? A few people. So let me say that Satan has a yard sale, and at this yard sale there are all these tools sitting out at these tables. And a man comes to this sale and he says, wow, look at all these tools, and every tool has a tag with a price. And there's a tool of jealousy, and there's a tool of lust, and he goes piece by piece. And at the front of the sale, standing next to the cash box, is Satan. And next to Satan on a table is this rusty little old tool, and it just looks like it's seen better days. And he says, gosh, this tool, it has the most expensive price tag, and it looks battered and torn. It looks like it's seen better days. What is this for? Had no tag. And Satan says, oh, that's the tool of discouragement. With that, I can accomplish anything. And so think about all the ways that Satan just needs like a little bitty loophole in our lives, and discouragement is always there. Okay, in our finances, in marriages, his tool that he uses often in everything is the tool of discouragement. Of course he's going to use it in your business, because he has a goal poster and it has your face on it the day you decide to do something big with your life. And so you have to just know that's where it comes from, because discouragement is not a tool of Jesus Christ. So here's what I want to end with. It's a poem. I'm sure you guys have probably heard it in your life. And it's called Maybe She Needs Me. Anybody heard of it? It had been a long day, and I was finishing a task. As I hurried past her, the little voice said, ask. Ugh, not today, I told myself. I'm tired and it shows. Besides, I could not look foolish. It's likely she'll say no. While drifting off to sleep that night, I saw her face again. I wondered what her life was like, her dreams, her needs, her pain. What if she'd been praying for a friendly word or smile, the chance to meet somebody that would go the extra mile? What if she'd been looking for a break, an open door? Was this the opportunity that she'd been praying for? I saw the cars she'd never drive, the rings she'd never wear, because I would not risk myself to stop, to ask, to share. So what if what I offered her was not her cup of tea? That was a choice for her to make. How selfish could I be? When all my dreams are realized, I don't want to feel regret for the lives I did not touch and change, the no's I didn't get. Oh, let me live, the true go give, and let my mission be not, do I need her, but maybe she needs me. Thank you guys. Have a great conference.